Crafty Clan, I just wanted to give you a quick update on where we are now with the Etsy Star Seller Badge. If you don't know, this is something that Etsy has just launched or just told us about in the past couple of days. I went live on this a couple of days ago, so you'll get my initial reactions there. If you haven't seen anything about this, log into your Etsy shop and look at your dashboard. You'll see stuff there. But I just wanted to get everything together and out there in a hopefully shorter form video than what we talked about on Wednesday. And I want to cover what we know so far about the Etsy Star Sellers Badge. That's difficult to say quickly. I want to talk about the little tests that I've already done. I've been working on some tests, some of the answers to the questions that we have, and my advice for just now. So let's get into this. Firstly, and most importantly, the Star Seller Badge doesn't go live until the 1st of September. They're telling us about it now. Now, it's calculated on the 1st of every month, starting from the 1st of September, and it's calculated on the previous 3 months. So we're already 2 months into the 3 months that's going to be for the 1st of September. So that's why they're telling us now. It's kind of important. It's going to be tricky for quite a lot of us to get our Star Seller badge because we didn't know it was coming up. So this sounds like it's going to be a badge for your shop, like the badge that says this is a great shop for gifts. It's sold to buyers for gifts in the past so many months and been given 5-star reviews. So it's probably not worth freaking out over. There are roughly 5 criteria for getting your badge, although they may change at a moment's notice, but what they are just now. Criteria 1 is your message response rate. They want to have 90% of your responses to brand new messages to be within 24 hours of receiving the message. They have told us if you mark a message as spam, so if you're getting spam, mark it as spam, that doesn't count. And I've actually tested this for people who are freaking out that they've had spam and they haven't marked it as spam. You can go back and mark it as spam. I've done this on some of mine. I've marked ones from a couple of weeks ago as spam, and that's removed it from my ratings. So when this came out, I was on a 50% response rate, and now that's climbing. Also, Etsy are advising us you can set auto reply if you're going to be away for a day or two. Up to 5 days you can set an auto responder on. If you're going to be away for longer, they're suggesting you go onto vacation mode. But bear in mind, they're saying you've got to answer with the first 24 hours. So if you can set aside a few minutes every day to answer questions, then you should be okay. And it's only the initial messages, so you don't have to go through the loop of thank you, no, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. I really enjoyed working for you. No, certainly, once you've answered the first one, just deal with your customer normally. Don't go out of your way to try and make sure you have the last word. No need. The next criteria is having 95% of your reviews at 5 stars. Now, I don't know just now what happens for changed reviews if a customer gives you a 3-star by mistake and then changes it later. And also, Etsy say we shouldn't be penalised for shipping companies' time, but I don't know what that's going to be for if a customer's given you a low marking because the item's been late. But I will say one important thing to do here if you're aiming for the Star Seller badge is to make sure you're letting your processing time be generous enough, basically so that Etsy doesn't assume that your item should already be there and send them the message asking them to review the item. Because all too often customers freak out when they get that message, say they haven't had their item yet, so leave a bad review. The one that's most controversial for me is 95% on-time postage and adding tracking. And we've since found out it's add tracking or using Etsy shipping labels. So yes, it is a little bit of a con to get us all to use Etsy shipping labels. Hopefully I'm going to work on this and hopefully it works now. The Etsy shipping labels were not working with my post office in the country that I'm in. Hopefully they are now. We've been told instant digital downloads don't count towards this. Now, there's been some speculation going around. I think some of the customer support team on Etsy don't necessarily know what they're talking about. and have said that digital downloads, shops with digital downloads can't get the star badge. I don't believe that's the case. It definitely says specifically in the delivery and tracking bit that instant digital downloads don't count for this. That does not say they don't count totally. They're not counted for the star thing. So if you had other items in your shop as well, then your instant digital downloads are not going to help or hurt towards your score. Another thing is, I think specifically in the UK, but probably in other places too, by what I'm hearing, Etsy is aware that there is an issue with their calculations for this factor. So at the minute in time, if it looks very wrong, check in. You can dig deeper into your data. You can download the file to see why they're saying you're not ranking for this. And if there's an issue with the calculations, message Etsy, but don't freak out, they're aware of it, they are working to fix it. Also, in some countries, if your item costs less than around £10, $15, then you're exempt from having to use tracking or Etsy labels. So for low cost items, you're not going to be penalised. That's not going to count either. Now, at the minute in time, I've gone back and updated some of the tracking numbers to a few of my listings that basically they're shipped within the UK. We get tracking numbers, but I don't usually fill them in because by the time I get home and fill them in, the customer's probably got the item. But I've retrospectively gone back and filled them in for the past. At the minute, it's not updated on my review here. They do say it can take up to 24 hours for your things to update. However, everything else, the messages that I changed, that's already updated, and I did them after. So we'll see if adding the tracking numbers makes a difference. One thing though, it seems to message the customer again, and it moves back your date when you shipped to just now. So something that I shipped 2 weeks ago, I put in the tracking numbers just now, and although the tracking is saying it's already delivered, now my account's saying I just shipped it today, so I don't think this is a good way to go. At the minute, there seems to be issues with what they're going to do with InPerson Pickup and custom digital items. So if someone contacts you looking for you to create a digital drawing for them, that is not an instant download. You have to mark it as shipped, so we're not sure how that's going to work. If these are important for you, don't forget to message Etsy, put it in the survey, and I'll be keeping an eye out and I'll let you know as soon as I find out. The other two factors, most people won't see them if they're already over the limits, but you've got to have in those 3 months 10 orders or more, and the orders have to be over the total of the orders have to be over a certain value. It's about £200 or $300 or the equivalent in your currency. Cancelled orders don't count towards these two totals and won't count to your on-time shipping either, I would imagine. New sellers aren't eligible for this until 90 days after their first order on Etsy. One very important thing I'm seeing is Etsy are telling us we cannot use this badge. If you get it, you can't use it in other places apart from where they're letting you share it. Don't know if they're going to let you share it, but you certainly can't print it out on your business card. You can't shout about it on your social media unless they give us a button to share it. And the simple basic rules here is Etsy can remove you at any time, even if you meet all the criteria. If you're doing other things wrong, then Etsy can decide to remove you for any reason. They don't have to tell you why even. They can just take your badge away. And Etsy can change the rules of this entirely at any time. And by the sounds of things, they are leaving it open for them being able to change this or retire this system altogether. They have certainly rolled things out in the past and backpedaled on them. So this might even just go away quietly. I don't know. I think it's probably here to stay, but it's probably not as big a deal as you think. Now, not having the Star Seller badge is not supposed to penalise you at all. They do say it won't affect how you're ranking in the search. Yet. So at the minute in time, it shouldn't make any negative impact on your shop. Although the word saying that they're not planning to change your ranking because of it yet is a bit of a concern. One good point though is if it's difficult for your type of items, then it's difficult for everybody else that you compete with. So you won't be negatively impacted if everybody else can't get the star seller badge. You're only competing against the other people in your niche, and if they all can't get it, then even if it impacts ranking, it'll impact you all the same. But what we all need to do is keep an eye on the Q&A in the Etsy forums. They're usually good at getting back and answering these, and we get good snippets of information there. I will be keeping you updated. I should have a video out very soon talking about my thoughts on this. But the basic one just now is do not freak out. Do not let this demotivate you. This is the very time of the year we should be building our shops back up so that we're in the right place to be nice and busy when all the customers come in. So don't let it demotivate you. Don't bend over backwards to try and get a badge that we don't know what it does. But if it just means you just need to mark a couple of items as spam and maybe set aside a little coffee break every day to answer some emails, that's not a huge hardship. Anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. I have been seeing them in my live video in the comments there. Thank you so much. I am reading them all and I will get around to answering them soon. Overwhelmed. But thank you so much for all your support and keeping me up to date with all of this so I can keep you up to date with it all.